All right, we're up in Manton. We've been hauling up our compost up here. Seth got the truck stuck. So for the past 4 days, well, yesterday there wasn't, but before yesterday, for 4 days in a row, every time I pick my boots up, there's a spider under it. So we're gonna try again today. We're gonna lift up my boots and see if there's a wolf spider underneath. I've killed it every time. All right, I've killed 4 spiders. Unless I'm like stuck in some weird Groundhog Day scenario where I keep reliving the same day over and over again. But we're gonna see if there's a spider under here. All right. No spider. I just look like an idiot. I'm over here getting some bales for fresh beds. It's very windy. The past 2-3 days the wind has been coming out of the southwest, and so we closed the curtains on the south side of our weaning barn and some other barns. But now the wind is coming hard and strong. I think it's 25-mile-an-hour gusts up to coming from the north. So I just went and shut curtains on the north side of our young cattle barn, so those guys are out of the wind, and it's kind of misty raining a little bit. You can't really tell, but we don't want them to get wet or their bedding to get wet either. So they're taken care of. We're over here getting some of these cornstalk bales. That's really windy. There we go. Getting some of these cornstalk bales that you guys saw us wrap. Did we? Anyways, that we wrapped this spring. What I'm gonna do is go and cut. You can kind of see here. This plastic is really thick, so to make sure that the bales come off cleanly and that I'm not ripping up the netting on it or anything, I'm gonna go and pre-cut with my knife along each seam for 3 bales, so that when I pick it up and take it off, it comes off nice and cleanly. Doesn't have plastic coming off everywhere. You can see a little bit of it, some of it back there. But we don't want plastic everywhere, so I'll pre-cut 3 of these and we'll bring them up. Go on the other side. That's a tip. If you're walking on uneven ground, better just leave your knife in the bale than to trip, cut your arm open. All right, so now hopefully when we come forward, we should come off nice and cleanly. Boom, it's exactly what we want. I just noticed I lost my corn nuts. Corn. Hey. We're good. We found them. All right. Man, this day has become exponentially better already. So Abram is brushing off this feed pad back here, because this is where our corn silage is going to go. Hopefully we're going to start chopping either tomorrow or maybe Friday, depending on the weather. If it gets too wet, we won't be able to get into the fields. So I'm bringing up tires. Let me turn around so you guys can see. Got a big old field of tires over here. And there's a bunch more over there. But these are what's going to go on top of the pile to hold down the plastic to make sure it don't blow away. We're going to need all the tires we can get. So I'm going to where we're slowly uncovering the haylage pile to feed that. And there's a little bit of tires over there, and I'm bringing those back here. So we have every single tire that's on this farm next to this pile. So when we cover it, we have enough, because it's probably gonna be close. So you can see Seth is over here hauling compost out of these compost bays, so that those are good to go, and that we have room now, since the pile isn't here yet, to get the truck in and out easily. We'll get those hauled out so that over winter and spring and have plenty of room in the compost bays. But yeah, that's what's going on. It's kind of rainy, so luckily we've all got jobs going on right now where we're in a nice warm cab, getting stuff done. So I'm going to go ahead and keep bringing tires back here. Here's where those other tires are. There's a couple over here we got to grab. Guys, we got new drinkers. I'm so excited. So if you don't know, we've had issues in this barn over the past, I'd say 3 winters, last winter being the worst. When it gets to about 15 degrees or so, these drinkers in this barn start freezing. They do have heaters in them, but the old design, well, I'll actually come to this one and show you. Here's an old one. The design is that there's your drain right here. You pull that out, and here's the front of it, and it drains out the bottom and then out the side right here. What we were having is we were having mice and rats come in here and chew this plastic part. You can see they chewed it right here. And they would get inside here into this wiring, and they would short out the heater cores that go underneath the drinkers. And that wouldn't be a huge issue if it would only short out one drinker, but we had these all on one breaker, so if we had any electrical issue and a drinker shorted out, it would shut off all 9 of these drinking cups. And so if at 2 in the morning and it's -10 outside, a mouse chooses to chew out one of those drain tubes and short out a drinker, it would shut all 9 off, and we'd come here in the morning to 9 frozen drinkers, which is not fun at all. And then you got to deal with hot water, hair dryers, trying to get them thawed out, because once they freeze down far enough, and once it's really, really cold, like we were getting -30 a couple days, you just can't get them back out. And so this is a godsend for sure. So they were wired down through the ground. We got the PVC pipe poured into the concrete that goes underneath all these, that brings the water line and the electrical. But what they did, so that we don't have issues with rats, is that they wired above this time. So the power's coming from the room down there, and it comes down to each drinker separately all the way down. The breakers used to be in the utility room down there. They're now here. So we have 2 drinkers on each, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that if for any reason we trip a breaker, somehow a rat digs a tunnel like they're robbing a bank up underneath the drinker, it's not gonna happen. But if it does, and they short it out, it's only gonna shut off 2 drinkers and not all 9. So those are here, so we can look at those whenever we're coming to the auger to get these guys fed. But what they also did is they put a kill switch and an outlet on every single drinker. So if, again, heaven forbid, anything happens, we show up to a frozen drinker, we don't have to run extension cords through this barn to get a hair dryer on it. We like to use a hair dryer because we don't want to fill underneath the drinker full of water, because then that freezes and it's just a big mess. So if you have an outlet here, it makes it super, super simple. And then if anything happens with the electrical, they can shut off the electrical to 1 drinker instead of having to shut it off to all 9. And because when you're gonna have problems with it is when it's really, really cold, something usually goes wrong. And when that happens, if you shut off the heaters to all the drinkers, chances are you're gonna have more freeze. So that issue has been taken care of. They're replaced with the Ritchie drinker, and as you notice, it's pretty much the same, right? The pan and the inside here, if I can get this off, is the same, the float is the same, and the drain is the same. But it's just got the insulation on the outside, because another issue that we were having was that the rats and the mice would get into underneath the drinker from the chewed out drain spout, and they would chew all that insulation out and take it away to make nests. And so what we ended up with was metal drinkers that weren't insulated, which also was a huge pain because they froze a lot easier. In this design, the insulation is encased in plastic on the outside, so rats and mice can't get to it. They still have a drain spout, but we didn't really use it because it gets, you know, the walkway here really wet whenever you drain it out the side. And so where the drain spout was, it is no more. So when we come in to clean these, we're just gonna scoop them out with a cup into a bucket so we can dump it outside the barn, and the mice and rats don't even have an option to get inside that drain spout to chew it out to wreck the wiring. It's amazing. I'm so happy. So we have all of these replaced in this whole barn. Abram and I sat down to just do some rough math of how much it cost in labor last winter for us to come in here and take care of these drinkers when it was really cold. We estimated probably conservatively $1,500 all the way up to about $2,000 just in labor alone, not even accounting lost productivity, just last winter. And I won't be freezing my fingers off fishing ice out of drinkers. So I'm super excited. It's a really good system and it's a much needed upgrade. We also have 2 more that they're going to put in the south pens of our white barn, 2 more young cattle pens. Those are 2 drinkers we were also having issues with freezing. Same issues, rats getting in, and they're just old. You know, technically they're not old, but they get a lot of use, so they're all pretty much well worn out. We added onto the side, so the construction is a little different. They don't run on the 6x6s, they're just a straight pole, so we'll have to make sure we don't hit those, Seth. But then the kill switches and outlets for these are just over here. So that's about it, guys. We're excited. I am so excited, if you couldn't tell. If you guys like the video, please give it a like, subscribe so you don't miss my stuff, and leave notifications on, or turn them on, so that you don't miss my videos. And leave a comment below if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, tips, all that good stuff. Leave that. It's really, really windy. Leave that below. That's it for me, guys. I'm gonna get back to doing chores. I gotta feed these guys. But I'll catch you guys on the next one.